Have you noticed something lately? Everyone is talking about Rome again. From travel vlogs to Instagram reels, the Eternal City is back in the spotlight, and not just because of its world-famous pizza or gelato. Post-pandemic, Rome is experiencing a powerful tourism revival. But it's not just the crowds returning, it's the curiosity. And that brings us to the question. Have you ever wanted to walk through time? Not just read about ancient empires or see old stones behind glass, but to stand where emperors once ruled, where gladiators fought for glory, and where every street corner tells a story older than most countries. Rome is not a city you simply visit, it's a place that visits you back. It lingers. It whispers stories in every piazza, every ruin, every shadow. This isn't just a destination. It's a living museum, one that survived the rise and fall of civilizations, and now invites you, yes, you, to be part of its next chapter. And the best part, you don't need a plane ticket to begin. This is like a free ticket, just a like, subscribe, and a small comment helps bring the next video to you. Because together, we're about to explore a city where history isn't just remembered, it's felt. Let's begin. They say all roads lead to Rome, and once you understand its history, you'll see why. This city wasn't just the capital of Italy. For centuries, it was the center of the known world, the beating heart of an empire that stretched from the windswept coasts of Britain to the sands of North Africa, from the pillars of Greece to the gates of Persia. It all began, as legend has it, in 753 BC, when twin brothers Romulus and Remus, raised by a she-wolf, founded a small settlement on the banks of the Tiber River. What started as myth soon became might. By 509 BC, Rome had evolved into a republic governed by senators and citizens, not kings. And then came the rise of the Roman Empire, crowned in 27 BC, when Augustus took power as the first emperor. For over 400 years, Rome dominated politically, militarily, and culturally. Its roads connected continents. Its legal systems laid the foundation for modern Western law. Its architecture, domes, aqueducts, amphitheaters still shapes our skylines. Even our calendar, that's Roman too. But even the greatest empires fall. In 476 AD, the Western Roman Empire crumbled, overrun by invasions and weakened from within. Yet Rome, the city, endured. What's remarkable is that even today, Rome still rules, not through force, but through influence. Its language lives on in Italian, Spanish, French, and even parts of English. Its ideas, democracy, citizenship, civil engineering still echo in modern society. So yes, when people say all roads lead to Rome, they're not just talking about geography. They're talking about legacy. If history had a stage, Rome would be its grand amphitheater, and no landmark captures that better than the Colosseum. Towering above the city streets, the Colosseum is a monument to both human brilliance and brutality. Picture this, 50,000 specters packed into the stone arena, cheering, gasping, and roaring as gladiators fought for honor and survival. Built in just 8 years, this ancient arena saw over 4 centuries of games, including naval battles staged by flooding the arena floor. Step outside, and just a stone's throw away lies the Roman Forum, once the bustling core of public life. Senators debated here. Emperors paraded through its arches. It was the birthplace of political drama, legal systems, and civic rituals that still shape modern democracies. Standing among its broken columns today, you don't just see ruins, you feel power. And then the Pantheon, still standing, still stunning. Almost 2,000 years old, and yet its dome remains the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world. Think about that. With no steel, no modern tools, just Roman ingenuity. As light streams through the central oculus, it feels less like a building, more like a divine experience. Now shift from the ancient to the enchanting, the Trevi Fountain. It may not date back to Caesar, but its magic is undeniable. Baroque in style, overflowing with myth, it's where travelers toss coins to ensure a return to Rome. 1 coin for love, 2 for marriage, 3. Well, you'll have to visit to find out. Rome doesn't just preserve its history, it performs it on every corner, in every shadow, and through every stone. Imagine walking through Rome, and suddenly entering an entirely different country, without ever showing your passport. Welcome to Vatican City, the world's smallest independent state, nestled right inside the heart of Rome. Yes, it's a real country, with its own flag, its own postal system, even its own Swiss guards. But don't let its size fool you, just 109 acres in total, because inside these walls lies some of the most priceless art and architecture ever created. At the center stands the majestic St. Peter's Basilica, a masterpiece of Renaissance architecture and the spiritual heart of the Catholic world. Whether you're religious or not, walking beneath its soaring dome is an experience that humbles you. Look down, and you'll see the tomb of St. Peter himself. Look up, and you'll see the legacy of Michelangelo, who designed the dome and sculpted the hauntingly beautiful Pietà housed within. But the real treasure lies inside the Sistine Chapel. This is where popes are chosen, and where the ceiling tells a story without a single spoken word. Painted by Michelangelo in the early 1500s, it took him 4 painstaking years to create. And when you tilt your head back to gaze upon the famous image of God reaching out to Adam, you realize this isn't just art. This is human history painted onto a ceiling. But here's what makes it even more powerful. The Vatican didn't appear out of nowhere. Its foundations are intertwined with ancient Rome itself. The early Christians, once persecuted by Roman emperors, would later transform Rome into the center of their faith. And Vatican City, it rose from that legacy, a symbol of how empires may fall, but ideas endure. Would you believe this is the smallest country in the world, with some of the grandest art ever created? Only in Rome. Rome isn't a place you just see, it's a place you feel. And nowhere is that feeling stronger than in its local neighborhoods, the ones where time seems to linger, and daily life carries the rhythm of centuries. Let's start with Trastevere, a district just across the Tiber River, whose name literally means beyond the Tiber. It's a tangled maze of cobblestone alleys, ivy-covered walls, and glowing lanterns that light up as dusk settles in. Here, laundry sways from windows, musicians play in quiet corners, and the smell of fresh pasta fills the air. It's the kind of place where every turn leads to an old story, and possibly your new favorite cafe. Then there's Testaccio, less polished, more authentic, and deeply Roman. This working-class neighborhood doesn't try to impress. It just lives, breathes, and feeds. Once the site of ancient Roman food warehouses, today it's home to some of the best street food in the city. Locals still gather in piazzas, kids still play soccer after school, and families share meals on balconies overlooking ruins older than entire nations. What's truly remarkable is how Romans blend the ancient with the everyday. A medieval church might sit next to a modern gelato shop. A market stall might rise beside a 2,000-year-old wall, and no one bats an eye. Because for Romans, history isn't a monument, it's a companion. Imagine sipping your morning espresso at a street cafe, and realizing you're just blocks away from where Julius Caesar once walked. That's not fantasy, that's everyday life in Rome. This city doesn't put its past behind glass. It lets you live in it. Let's be honest, half the reason people come to Rome is for the food. And the other half is for the second helping. Roman cuisine isn't about fancy presentation or endless ingredients. It's simple, honest, and deeply satisfying, the kind of food that tells a story with every bite. Start with the holy trinity of pasta. Cacio e pepe, cheese and pepper, that's it, but oh so perfect. Carbonara, creamy, made with eggs, pecorino romano, and crispy guanciale. An amatriciana, rich with tomato and a gentle kick from chili. But don't stop at pasta. Try a suppli, a crispy deep-fried rice ball with melted mozzarella inside. Locals call it telefono, because when you break it in half, the cheese stretches like an old telephone cord. Then comes aperitivo hour, not quite dinner, not quite drinks. It's a cultural ritual. Around 6 or 7 p.m., Romans gather at outdoor cafes and cozy bars for a glass of wine or a spritz, served with small snacks, bruschetta, or chips. It's not just about the food. It's about slowing down, watching the world go by, and savoring the moment. But here's the secret. To eat like a Roman, you've got to shop like a Roman. Skip the overpriced spots near the big landmarks. Instead, explore local markets like Campo de Fiori or Mercato Testaccio, where nanas still argue over tomatoes, and the prosciutto is sliced paper thin. Rome has taught the world how to eat, and it does so without trying too hard. So tell me, what would be your first bite in Rome? A forkful of pasta, a lick of hazelnut gelato, or maybe just a slow sip of Chianti as the sun sets behind a basilica. In this city, every meal is a celebration of life, of tradition, and of timeless taste. But it's very much alive, and understanding how to navigate its rhythm can make your visit far more enjoyable. First, the do's and don'ts. Do dress modestly if you're visiting churches or the Vatican. That means shoulders and knees covered. These are not just tourist stops, they're sacred spaces. Don't sit or eat on monuments. That includes the Spanish Steps. Not only is it considered disrespectful, but yes, it can get you fined. Rome isn't a city that rushes, it walks. It talks, it lingers. The Roman pace is relaxed, social, and beautifully expressive. Meals are slow, conversations are loud, and no one minds if you stop to stare at a building for 10 full minutes. Want to charm the locals? Just a few basic Italian phrases go a long way. Buongiorno per favor, grazie, and the golden phrase, un caffè per favor, because coffee is practically a religion here. Now a quick word about tourist traps and scams. Beware of people handing you bracelets or roses as a gift. They'll ask for money right after. When dining, always check the menu for prices before ordering, especially in tourist-heavy zones. And don't be afraid to walk a few blocks off the main streets. That's where the real Rome lives, eats, and breathes. Respect, curiosity, and a little patience go a long way here. Rome opens up to those who slow down and pay attention. And trust me, it notices when you do. Let's talk logistics, because even the most magical city needs a bit of planning to truly enjoy. When's the best time to visit Rome? Spring from April to early June is perfect. The weather is warm, but not scorching, and the city is in bloom. September to October is equally charming, fewer crowds, golden sunsets, and a gentle breeze through the piazzas. Avoid midsummer if you can, not just for the heat, but because locals leave the city in August, and many shops close down. Now, getting around. Rome wasn't built for cars, it was built for sandals. The best way to explore, walk. You'll stumble on hidden courtyards, street musicians, and secret gelato shops you'd never find on a map. For longer distances, the metro is fast and simple, with just 3 main lines. There are also electric scooters scattered across the city, great for short rides. But do watch out for cobblestones and traffic. When it comes to where to stay, consider what kind of experience you want. Centro Storico, right in the historical heart. Walk to nearly every major site. Trastevere, bohemian, romantic, full of character and nightlife. Monte, trendy, central, and slightly more local. Perfect for first-timers who want charm and convenience. A few quick safety tips. Rome is generally safe, but pickpocketing can be a problem, especially on crowded buses and near tourist hotspots like Termini Station or the Trevi Fountain. Keep valuables close, use a crossbody bag, and avoid distractions. For travelers from the US and UK, make sure you have travel insurance that includes medical coverage. Healthcare in Italy is excellent, but costs for non-residents can add up quickly without coverage. And remember, your best travel tool in Rome isn't an app or a guidebook. It's curiosity, comfortable shoes, and a little sense of wonder. So how much does a Roman adventure actually cost? Let's break it down, because whether you're traveling on a shoestring or splurging like a Caesar, Rome offers something for every wallet. Start with meals. A slice of Roman-style pizza, around €3. A sit-down pasta lunch with a glass of wine, around €15 to €20. A fancier dinner in Trastevere or Monte. Expect €30 to €50 per person, especially with dessert and drinks. And gelato, because you'll definitely have it, goes for €2.50 to €4, depending on the size and location. Accommodation can vary wildly. Budget hostels or B&Bs start at around €30 to €50 per night. Mid-range hotels, roughly €100 to €150. Luxury stays, think rooftop views and Roman elegance, can range from €300 to €600 plus per night. When it comes to entry tickets, major landmarks aren't too pricey. Colosseum plus Roman Forum combo, about €18. Vatican Museums plus Sistine Chapel, around €17 to €25, depending on extras like guided tours. And here's a pro tip. Many museums and sites are free on the first Sunday of each month, including the Colosseum. In fact, some of Rome's best experiences are completely free. Walking through Piazza Navona at sunset, people watching on the Spanish Steps, gazing up at the Pantheon's dome, strolling the Tiber River at night, and of course, tossing a coin into the Trevi Fountain now. Budget versus luxury. Rome does both beautifully. You can grab a sandwich and sit by a fountain for under €10, or dine at a Michelin-starred rooftop restaurant with views of the Vatican for over €200. And compared to cities like Paris or London, Rome is relatively affordable, especially when it comes to food, transport, and entry to attractions. You get history, beauty, and cuisine without draining your travel fund. So whether you're a backpacker or a 5-star nomad, Rome makes every euro feel worth it. So, is Rome worth it? If you've followed this journey, you probably already know the answer. Rome is not just a destination, it's a dialogue with the past. It doesn't whisper history, it sings it. In every stone, every fountain, every winding alley, Rome invites you to pause, to listen, and to become part of a story that began thousands of years ago, and still isn't finished. Whether you're a solo traveler chasing meaning, a couple seeking timeless romance, or a history lover with a thirst for ruins and revelations, Rome embraces you. It's where time folds in on itself. Where a morning espresso sits beside a 2,000-year-old column. Where you can walk the same streets as emperors, artists, saints, and rebels, and leave with your own story etched into the city's memory. So here's your invitation. Book that trip. Get lost in the layers of time, and feel what it means to walk through a place where the past and present live as one. Drop a comment, what's the first thing you'd do in Rome? And don't forget to like and subscribe for more travel wonders from around the world. Because this journey doesn't end here. It's just the beginning.